When you do nothing, nothing happens. Best time to take action is now. This is the time to work on you and your business. So I've created a group, an online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you to start helping yourself.
Helped me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen. See you in Power Partners.
Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future.
Wow! Hello, lady, queen, Miss Magnificent, everything I can think of.
Thank you, Barbara. I feel like I just was standing in front of 1,000 people and received a standing ovation. Thank you.
Yes, totally deserve it, lady. And just thank you. Before we even start, I always want to do this because I might not have a chance to do it later. Thank you so much for coming on my show. It's an honor and a privilege. So thank you for bringing your expertise of what you do for people in their life.
Beautiful. I'm excited to share this. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm going, this is a first-class production. This is not a boring, not saying they're boring, but this is, it's like you get music, you get entertainment, you get that commercial. Oh my gosh, beforehand with what you're doing in Haiti, it just spoke to my heart. And so congratulations for really showing people how it can be done well.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And that's a little bit, now I'm going to tell you, I give you some credit on that. Because, through the boot camp and some of the things that you said and some of the other experts you brought in was giving me ideas for my show to make it, even pop even more. And I know that's one of the things that you really help. One of the things out of many of the things that you do, help people, about showing up and showing up the right way. So thank you, lady, for putting that in my life. And saying this is a coach. See, a coach to a coach. See, sometimes I tell people a coach even needs a coach. So Shannon was my coach.
And I need more than one, just to let you know. I have a few. So
yeah. You do too. I always tell people, Shannon, before we get into your wonderful what you do, is okay, Oprah has coaches. Barbara Walter has a lot of coaches. I mean, every celebrity, they have like 5 or 6. So why don't you think you need one? That's what I always tell people. It's like, yeah, we all need that little, encouraging, pushing, telling us some things, tweaking some things, whatever you have to do in life, in whatever area that you have to do in life. Yes, definitely.
Yes.
So, Miss Shannon, before we get into, because I know there's some wonderful points, some key points you're going to give us today, but before we get to all that, just let us know, how did you start in this business? And you're just brilliant at it. And I mean, you just have so much going on in your network.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story. When I was 19, I was rear-ended in a car wreck that left me in pain and eventually getting a surgery, which left me paralyzed. And after the surgery and being paralyzed, I ended up, Destiny stepped in, met a Qigong master who taught me the power of Qigong and ended up healing my arm completely through this ancient Chinese exercise. And so in this process, I started realizing that there are so many incredible modalities in this world, many of them are ancient, thousands of years old, but they're not mainstream. And I became very passionate about helping get those messages out to the world, meeting with both doctors and healers and individuals, and started an organization and a number of events, collaborating and networking business leaders with that specific niche of, most of them are really great at their modality, but when it came to marketing and even networking, that was lacking. And so I went from being paralyzed and depressed and dependent on other people to inspired and motivated and seeing my purpose in the world to help people get their message out.
That is, oh my God. See, I always tell you, sometimes miracles happen in your life to move you to that next realm in your life, what you're supposed to be doing with people. And first of all, thank God that you found that to make yourself heal and be that person that you wanted to be. Incredible story. And then from that point saying, okay, this is my destiny now. This is what I do. And you just, you glow through. I'm telling you, I have to say that you just glow through the screen. You're just a breath of fresh air. That's why I got, when I was in the boot camp, I was just like, okay, if anybody else, I'm just taking from Shannon, because I'm like, I gotta stay here. I want this electricity that she has. So, and I see that you're so thankful, and I understand. Now I understand why. Definitely. Wow.
Thank you.
So let's get into these 3 points, because I learned, I know I'm the student today too, just like everybody else that's watching. So the first thing I know we're going to talk about, you talk a little about how anyone gets free publicity. You have 5 essential for a press kit. And I know a lot of times people think, I know I've said this to you. I said, you need a press kit, you need this. Because I said, I know I was free. They said, oh, that sounds so much work. Tell us how that can go with us.
Yeah, and so and this was part of my journey, is as I started doing events, and not, at the time being a single mom and not having a big resource base, I started looking at media and studying how do I get butts in seat, like how do I, because I can have this great message and insight, but if I don't get people there, then it doesn't, not able to have that impact. And as I started studying, I was able to crack the code on a particular style of press release that stands out. And so right now the media gets thousands, if not tens of thousands of press releases and promos every single day that they have to sort through. And so this press release is a format that when they see it, they're going to be like, they have to look at it. And I have to say 9 times out of 10, when people follow this format, it stays out of the trash. So the event, because I started producing events, and we get 500 people, but then Barbara, once I cracked this code, we went from 500 to 2,000 events with one press release being picked up by over 10 different mediums. So that's the power of media magic. And so I always tell people, you want to be ready. I mean, this. It's like we want to be ready. And if we're not and we have an opportunity, it's important to say yes, right? It's like, okay, yes, I'll do this and I'll get ready as quick as I can. And you call on your resources. But in this, I call this our media kit and our press kit. And it comprises of various pieces. One is the press release that I talked about. And I believe, as you heard in the boot camp, Media Magic Boot Camp, that we all have 40, 50 stories. We could be putting out press releases multiple times a month. So having that press release ready, having action photos. And you heard me say, I learned the lesson of writing the story about being healed with that ancient Chinese exercise. And they said, do you have any photos? And I sent them a headshot, and they didn't use the headshot. And I'm like, what am I, what do I not look good? Like, why did they put in the headshot? But then I learned the difference of action photos and what does that look like and how simple it is. I mean, it's not anything complex. You also want to have any sort of media that's already been covered about you. They love seeing you're in the media before. So if you have that on a media page on your website. Be able to share this. To me, being on a podcast is media. So this, Barbara, will go on our website, right? So anytime you're on
glad you're bringing that up to the front part and say, look, if you're on any podcast or show, that is giving you that credibility. That is giving you more visibility out there to people to get to know you. So thank you, Shannon, for mentioning that.
Yeah, and as an event producer, I go and look and see, how did they speak? How did they articulate? Did they pause and give the host time to talk? Like there's certain things that we look at there. And then also, Barbara, if I can just piggyback on that, like every media we get, we have a media asset file, and so we use it on our social media. And so even though we're doing this now, we're going to continue to use this for years to come as our social media to promote and share. So those are important. Definitely use those podcasts and use those to your advantage. It's free press. It's media magic. The next piece is anything that you've written that might be significant. Some of us write articles for magazines or medical journals and things like that. So anything that's about you, or kind of another show, right? So there's articles and things about you, and the others are things that you have done. And if people don't have anything, Barbara, sometimes I've taken ads that people have done and maybe things that they've written editorial about the ads. So there's, don't worry about it if you've never done it, but sometimes we can have that middle ground where they're like, I'm just getting out there and I have a few ads. The other piece is having your, I believe we need to have our order forms and our price sheets together. Now, not all the media is going to ask that, but to me, Media Magic is also being on a podcast and also being on and an event. I see an event as an incredible platform to be able to speak. Right, Barbara? Yeah, oh, you muted, sorry.
Definitely.
And so we want to know, like, Barbara, you asked me different things about what I offer. We want to know what is in that order form. What are those things? We make our decisions based upon, at least in our network. I would have a discussion. Okay, Barbara, you teach this with visibility. I want you to know so-and-so is teaching visibility. So here's how you can collaborate or play together. So that's another piece that is important. And then we get into the expert power bio. And so the expert power bio is really that place of how do you stand out? Like resumes can be good if you're looking for jobs, and CVs, we need to keep those updated. But a bio is this story about you and your journey. And so we like helping people create a long version of which they can pull and create smaller versions to give to somebody like in the media. And like you're not going to give them a 5-paragraph or 7-paragraph, but you put it on your website, right? And so we help people create that initial tool, what we call a power bio, that has numbers and things that we sometimes have a hard time bragging about ourselves, but those are the essentials to be ready in a press kit.
Yes, isn't it really interesting, Shannon? Because I know you see this all the time. Where when you see, because I know even when I was at the boot camp, and you're like, okay, we're going to go through the shorter bio and the larger bio. And this is the time, I'll never forget this, this time you can brag, it's okay to brag on you. And it's like pulling teeth. It's almost like pulling teeth from people, Shannon, because they're like, they always go back to, well, I'm okay, but I want to, no, brag. I need you to brag. I need you to give us number. I need you to do this.
Well, I don't know if you remember this part of the story, is that I really struggled with my confidence, and I struggled with talking about myself. And so I really liked this because during that time period, I was able to share it. I still do share it. I love sharing it before we meet. Hey, send me your bio. But it became an instrument to be able to do some of the bragging for me. And then that way, especially if you're doing those coaches that might be meeting somebody for a strategy session, it's much better to get into business. Like, let's help the person we're with and talking about it and edifying ourselves, getting to business. I do have a couple of other things that I think is being ready. Is it okay if I share those? And the other thing is your company material. This is kind of basic. We know this. We need business cards, company brochures, and things like that. But having those company materials together are key. And then testimonials of you as a speaker, you as a coach. Video is best, but you can turn those into audio. And Barbara, do you remember where we showed you that LinkedIn trick on how to get recommendations?
I know.
Can I share it real quick? Oh my gosh.
Please share that.
Yeah, Juliet Clark, one of our mentors, taught me this, and I was like, this is so brilliant. Anytime, like for us, we're done. Once we do this podcast, you go into LinkedIn, you go to my profile, and you hit the more button. And under the more button, there's a thing that says request recommendations. And so then on my profile, you can request a recommendation from me. And you pick, how did we do business? Well, you were on my show, right? And you can write me a special note. Hey, Shannon, please put something about being on my show. It comes to my LinkedIn, and I get to fill it out, and then you actually get to approve it. So I've had people write back and say, hey, you spelled Ayurvedic medicine incorrectly. Please correct. So you have 100% control, but now you have these incredible, beautiful testimonials that have the person's picture, have their headline how they want it because it's their YouTube, their LinkedIn, and it becomes multi-purpose that you can pull and use everywhere. So that's one of the best ways to, I think, get testimonials. And you do it right afterwards, Barbara. You don't wait a long time. You wait right after the person's excited and happy and.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking, I was like, oh my God, I got to go back. But I'm like, I might be too late to go back. I need to start today.
Yeah, no, we went back a long time, and people, they love you, Barbara, which I know they do. So.
Oh, see, but people, okay, I'm just talking to the audience right now. Listen to Shannon. She just gave a golden nugget. That is a golden nugget. That's what I call, a lot of golden nuggets, but that was really nice. I forgot about that. Thank you. See, those little things, like you said, Shannon, those little things that can give you that freebie. You don't have to pay for that. They're just come out your pocket with that, but you're getting so much from it. Now, did we go over the rest? I want to make sure we went over.
Oh, yep, no, that was it. Adding just those testimonials and company material. Yes.
I said, I don't want to miss anything. I don't want the people to miss anything from you. Now, the other thing I know you mentioned, Shannon, with the timing of our timing is, you said there's one thing someone can do today to increase their income and attract more customers. Can you give us just a little tad of that?
So, I'm passionate about community. So I'm just going to share, this is one of the first thing I choose, and I'll share a little more of a mainstream one, is finding somebody to partner with that may be doing what, either a good alliance partner, because they could add on what you're doing. Like for me, I do press release syndications. I went out and found publishers. So I aligned with what I call power partners, looking at that power partner play in your business. And so now publishers will actually white label my service, and it instantly increased my business. And it's like no effort, no marketing dollars. I don't have to write press releases. I don't have to do anything with that. The other piece is going out there and getting media right away. I love radioguestlist.com. You can get downloads of great podcasts and do your full view of what it is. I love Harrow, help a reporter out, harrow.org, and find things. So just look at those places, especially if you're on a limited resource, of where can you submit your bio, submit a little story. Be sure to follow instructions, right, Barbara? You gave us instructions on what to do, and so be sure to follow instructions. But that's a great way to just turn on the faucet in your business in a very quick way. Partnership and getting media. I just let people know, please, Shannon is so right. Partnership and getting together. And it's not, see, the thing that people get caught up in is, well, it's competition. They kind of do the same thing I do and everything. I'm like, no, it's not. You're banding together to create both your empires and grow even more. Now, just an example of that, Shannon, I'm just going to put it right back to you. And this is something that I got to do shame on me right now. After your boot camp, I know you're just awesome with press releases and stuff. Well, I like to show, especially women, and help them with their visibility. So I was thinking at the time, and still want to do this, that I said I could partner or talk to Shannon and say, that's not my lane. It's not. I'll tell people what's my lane and what's not. But I want to make sure the people that I'm bringing in, that they get all the visibility they can in any area. So that's where, like you're saying, Shannon, that you could partnership. Yes. I can partner with you and say, you know what, Shannon, I got like 5 people that need press releases here. I need you to do this. Yeah. And what's so great, Barbara, is that when you find those partners that are in line with the shared vision. This is different than an affiliate. Affiliate is where you get a percentage and all that. A power partner is somebody where we really care about each other. And so when you send me your people, Barbara, I make you look like a rock star. I'm constantly, I'll tell you where to plug into my system. Hey, show up to the 1 hour interview. And then a good power partner is really going to edify you and work with you and always make that person really love you and come back to you, right? And then you'll do the same. And so we with power partners, you get to know each other and you share the goodness. I mean, my power partner says, hey, I know you have a boot camp coming up. I have an event coming up. I'm still going to promote their event because they're my power partner. Does that make sense? It's like they're kind of like my best friend in business.
Yes. And I tell anybody, when you want to partner up with Shannon as a partner, come on now. I just want everybody to know when something's going on here if you don't want to do that or want to get into her orbit. So Shannon, because of time, oh my God, lady, this has been so amazing. I love it. But I want to make sure I give you 30 minutes just to kind of any last things that you can give the audience, and then I'll come back and we can wrap up. So I'll be right back.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful. Thank you. So I would love to connect at meetshannon.com. All the social media platforms, my calendar, my schedule, even some free gifts. You can go to MediaMagicBook.com and download this incredible book that has the templates that we talked about, that talks about all of the aspects of putting together that press kit. And I invite you to our Media Magic Bootcamp. If you go to MediaMagicBootcamp.com, this is where Barbara and I had the opportunity to connect, where we don't just lecture and learn, we help you put together that press kit. So I hope I get to see you soon at meetshannon.com, and would love to power partner with you. And I can keep talking. you give me a mic and I can just.
I was writing a note about the boot camp, and I was like, wait a minute, I gotta come back up. I was like, oh, forgot, I gotta come back up. I can listen to you all day, Shannon. This is awesome. But thank you again. I'm showing the hearts, showing the love for you to come on to my show, because this has been, like I said, amazing. Everybody, please reach out to Shannon, meetshannon.com. She has all her information there. If you need that visibility, if you need that press release kit, if you want to understand your bio and all the stuff that you need just to make you shine, Shannon will make you do that. I'm telling you, that media boot camp, amazing. And I love what she does. Real quickly, like she said, she doesn't sit there and just give you a laundry list of stuff and say, okay, go do what you got to do. We're done. No, you walk through it. It's really a workshop where you're walking through it after she tells you what your needs are, what you need, basically. So
yeah, and we put you in rooms with mentors and break out, like it's really like you're at school. I wanted to say, if you mention that you saw it on this podcast, I will give you a special bonus gift. So just mention Barbara, and I have a special gift for you, and do something above and beyond what we normally would do. So
gifts are nice. Take the gifts, everybody. Shannon's giving a gift. So you want to appreciate that. So Shannon, thank you again for coming on. You are always welcome back. I always want to tell all of my wonderful experts and coaches that come on, you are always welcome back to come on to the show. I truly adore you, and anything that you're doing, just let me know, and we will, like I said, the visibility person I am, is make sure that I put it out there for you. Thank you so much, ladies.
And although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us, because we're the one little bit of hope that they have, to have a warm meal in their bellies, and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them and without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big, and it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today. My name is Serena Buffalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been showing that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much wonderful, wonderful audience out there. I know you're out there. I can see you. My name is Barbara J. Beckley. We just heard from Shannon Posky. She was talking about basically media magic. Media magic. She was in my wheelhouse because her being a coach in that area, she's working with people with visibility. And guess what? That's what I do too. We were like brain for brain there. And one of the biggest things I always tell people that no matter what you're doing, if you have your own business, if you're just doing something, on a personal level, if you believe in something, if you're out there just fighting a cause or whatever, you need to be visible and you need to know the tools. And I love what Shannon has. She talked about press releases, being on tours, and learning and growing with her and being able to be on video. I know some people I talk to that, I help to train and coach is just get on a video, even if it's for 5 seconds. I'd be like, just try it for 5 minutes. And they're like, I don't know. And I always remind myself, what's your why? What is your why? Your why will push you to things that you would never do. Believe me, just 10 years ago, I was the shyest person on earth. And some people look at me and be like, stop lying. Stop lying. And I'm like, I'm really not. I was very, very shy. I didn't even want to go. When I went to work, it was like I was cubicle only. Sit in the cubicle. That was it. And then go home and start all over again the next day. But I found out my why. My why was that my mission was to make sure that women, especially these queens, I call the women queens all the time, that they are coming out and they're being visible because they have a voice. I had to find my voice. Sometimes it starts with you, right? You start with yourself, then you help others. And that's what I thought that I wanted to do. And that's why I became a visibility, purpose, strategy coach and all that good stuff. But you know what? Enough about me. We have another wonderful, amazing queen that's coming on. Her name is Karen. And I know, with technology, I always tell people, you love technology when it works. When it don't work, it's a whole nother story. Well, that's what happened last week to me. I'm very open and vulnerable. I tell people what's going on behind closed doors. And I was upset. I'm going to let you know, I was very upset because I have these queens and kings, because I have men come on the show too, that they're ready and willing and, make their time to come and, be on the show, because I appreciate that, because they're taking their time out to talk to me. And then all of a sudden I get a call, ring, 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 from the network saying, oh, we're going to have to, shut everybody down because we're doing an upgrade. Well, you should do the upgrade on the weekend. Don't do no upgrades when I'm doing a show. None of that. So, but, I had to listen because I could have did the show and no one was seeing us. You talking about visibility, there would have been no visibility. So with that, things last week was kind of shut down for the show. But we're back. And Miss Karen is back with me. This lady, after looking at what she does and listening to this lady, you're going to love her. Now, I told you this show is about giving spotlight to coaches and consultants and educators, because I feel like they need that spotlight, because they're the ones that are guiding people going from one extreme to the next in their life and getting to their goals. Why not spotlight them? They're world changers. So Miss Karen, she's a transformational specialist. She's committed to being a catalyst for positive change. Already, when I seen that, I'm like, yes. She's a facilitator, coach. She's a speaker. She's a CEO. She's a queen of queens. She has her own empire. She's helping out the world. And you're going to get to know this lady more and more and what she does for people, because I was at all, and I know you'll be at all too. But I can't bring a queen on. Just, boop, she's on the screen. Can't do that. We don't do that here. We got to do this the right way. So after this little video, we will be right back.
my God.
Hello, lovely, lovely queen.
Going to spot one.
Oh, that's so sweet. See, I got the hearts going this morning.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I first off, I'm so honored and privileged to be here. So thank you. And listening to your story, I can so relate. That was me 14 years ago. But yeah,
okay.
I was a doormat.
What? See, I'm looking like, okay, really? Come on, Karen.
Did you not? I would not. There was no way on earth I'd be first off here. I couldn't even look people in the eye.
Me too.
It was like I would look down, I would walk 2 steps behind or whatever, and I had no voice. Yeah. It always takes something that I know I'm in the right path. I get those goosebumps, and intuitively, I know I'm on the right path. So again, I thank you. Never any coincidences.
No, never.
Yeah.
But see, that's why I like, like I said, the universe always speaks to us and brings us people together like how we are, and really understand each other because we've been there. Our stories kind of align with each other. And like you said, I just knew my purpose busted out more than me being shy. And that's what I tell people. I said that had to come even before, even though sometimes I still get when I'm speaking or on stage or whatever I'm doing, but it's a different nervousness now. It's more of, I want to make sure I'm giving the value. I want to make sure that I'm helping people. So that's the other part of the nervousness, not so much of, okay, is my earrings okay? Or
exactly.
Oh
it's like show up and be you.
There you go. Show it up. But first, before we start, because I don't like these called interviews. I like more of a conversation with the queen.
Me too. I love it.
Love it. And we got to fix the crown for each other. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And I just want to say thank you, because I know it takes time. I mean, you do a lot, and I want to make sure that I give you reference by saying I really appreciate you being on the show, give us some of your expertise, because like I said earlier, I feel like coaches don't get their just due sometimes with being spotlighted and being thankful to say, being in somebody else, showing up in somebody else's life. Now it's already enough that we got to show up in our own and get ourselves together. But when you're telling yourself, okay, I'm going to take myself and now I'm going to spend time, not just a few hours in a week. I mean, some, your packages and stuff go for months and stuff. So you're really guiding and walking people through what you do for them. So I honor you for that real quickly before we can go on.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful.
So lady, before talking about stories, and we're just gonna get right into it. Because first, before we go into some of what you do as far as your coaching with individuals, I wanted to pull that curtain, that back curtain, and say, okay, why did Miss Karen? How did she get into all this? And then we can get into some of the techniques that you do.
Well, there were a couple. It was just the synchronicity of life and being present. I was in an abusive marriage for 29 years. And I kept saying, someday, one day, it's going to get better. Someday, one day, I love my family. I love the whole concept of family. And why isn't mine different? And coming from a broken family, I didn't want that for me or my children. And it happened. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to communicate. I had no voice, as I said, literally the doormat. I'd be the one like hanging back and off to the side. And then when divorce struck, because of whatever the circumstances, it was like the fear just started arising. And I had 3 small daughters at the time. And I was like, holy crap, like how I have to go to court and I have to find my voice to be an advocate for not just for myself, but for my children. And I was sexually abused when I was 11. And the last thing I wanted was to bring strangers into my house with my children. And I'm like, all this was like in my head. And so I delved into communication courses. And from communication courses, I promised myself I will never, ever, ever be able to not have a conversation with somebody again. And it was really just stretching myself and just getting out there and, is comfortable getting past, pushing past the fear and just pushing past the discomfort. And I started meeting amazing people. And I got into life coaching, and I was a nurse by trade. And when I was nursing, I was always, as a child, I was always curious. And my dad used to say, "Oh, you ask too many questions, shut up." So that taught me that kids were to be seen, not heard. And then I went to nursing, and I would ask the doctors, "You're sending these people home with prescriptions, but you're not getting to the root cause." And then right around that time, it was like everybody, who are you going to listen to? Everybody was like, "Oh, Karen, go back to nursing. You get divorced. You need a living, da, 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 da." And I'm like, I got burnt out in nursing. I got burnt out. I was in oncology last, so senior clip was very touching. And because I'm an empath and intuitive, I would take all of that home, and I wasn't getting sleep. I was getting myself sick. And I said, no, there's something bigger for me. So I started looking at my why. But before I got to the why, I started looking at my strengths. And I'm like, okay, I'm a mom, I'm a taxi driver, da, 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 da. Like, what can I create with this, And I've always had a curious mind anyway. And right around the time I was going and looking through all of this, what am I going to do with my life, and so on and so forth. I have horses, and the horse, my second horse, got struck by lightning. And I've been on a spiritual journey looking for something outside of myself, And I went through all sorts of world religion studies, and the one thing that came across that was consistent with each of them was compassion. And I'm like, I'm a compassionate person. I can do this. So I became very spiritual, and I started looking at spirits and science. I got very involved with quantum physics and neuroscience, and I just couldn't get enough information. And that started me on my journey. But when my horse got struck by lightning, the vet said to me, "Karen, you got to put him down. It's going to be a lot of money. You're going through a divorce. You have small children." And I just remember getting still and closing my eyes. And all of a sudden it was like, I said, no, he's going to survive. And not only is he going to survive, he's going to thrive. And he and I are going to be catalysts for change.
Look at you. I love it.
That I got then. And I said, I know I'm on the right path. And literally right after that, I mean, it was just like, I remember driving to 3 hours away here in Florida, and I just kept praying, "Oh, please, God, please, 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 have him survive, and all this other stuff. You beg, borrow, and steal in the fight, And right around the same time, my mom got sick. And she had very low self-esteem. Right? We're always attached to our past somehow, way, shape, or form. And that's what I grew up with. So I didn't know any other way of being. When I saw my mom, she was slurring her words. And when I dropped everything and went to go see her, I literally had to scrape her off the floor. And she was a big woman. And I remember looking at her, not as my mother, but as this young child that just wanted to be loved. And she had taken art classes in her 70s, and she had no one to show them to. So she would call the doctor, "I have a migraine headache." Well, what do? "Come on in, and we'll give you a prescription." So she would show all the nurses, "Oh, here's my picture. Ooh and ah, and isn't this great?" And then she'd go home, paint another picture, and no one to show it to. And the next thing you know, she was going back, "Well, the prescription you gave me now made me nauseous." So when I went to scrape her off the floor, she was on 19 medications, 3 doctors, and they weren't in touch with each other. And I went, the buck stops here, not on my watch. So part of my biggest mission is creating change in the world from the inside out. The stories that we tell us, because your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction. And half of what we tell ourselves is really not the truth. It's just the fictional stories that our ego has created to protect ourselves. So what's possible in that space? Well, so for me, it's freedom, peace, and ease. I mean, I want to live my life in that space. The energy, everything is energy. So I look at life and I look at my clients, I'm educated in the mental, the emotional, the physical, and spiritual. So when I look at my clients, I look at them from a holistic perspective, not just one little like, okay, you have this going on in life, let's fix that. You don't need to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with you, right? You just need to be taught a different perspective, a different perception of looking at things. Because when you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change. So I've created all these programs, and I've traveled globally. I was in South Africa, the creativity conference there, and really changed the perception of the way they were doing education there. So I see things differently. I used to play with puzzles, manipulative puzzles as a kid. So I'll always ask my clients, like, what did you do as a child? What was your favorite thing to do? You go back and look at it, you're more than likely going to be aligned with your purpose if that was something that you enjoyed and had fun with doing as a child.
Wow. Karen, I'm just blown away. I'm sitting there like the teacher is teaching me right now. I'm like sitting in class, like I just want more and more and more of you. But what I love, I mean, really, there's a lot of things you said I love. But one thing that I want to bring up that was really a mic drop was when you said you don't need to be fixed. You just need to be, basically learn. We need to learn and grow with that, because I feel like when people hear fixed, in fact, I'm talking to myself now too. When I heard somebody, well, you need to be fixed, already that's like a negative vibe.
Exactly.
And you're going to shut down.
So when you look at energy, it's frequency and vibration. What comes at word, right? In the beginning was the word. So what comes out of your mouth is a reflection of what's showing up in your life. Right? So when you get very present, so in my, literally, kid you not, I prefer doing more group work, but I do one-on-ones as part of that as well. And part of my, I don't call it a contract because I'm very conscious of vibration. So what I do it's a relationship. So what I do is when you sign on to have a relationship with me, right, and study and work with me and mentor with me, one of my requests is you have a dictionary, not just on your phone, but on your computer and what, because I want you to look up what you're saying. What's coming out of your mouth. Most people just like talk, right? Yes. But they're not present to, and then they're wondering why life isn't working for them. Well, you're not in alignment with who you say you want to be. You're not in alignment with your why, and you're likely not in alignment with your actions.
Ooh, that's powerful. I mean, I gotta pause for a minute before you keep going, because you dropping stuff here, Karen. You're giving this to us. Wow.
I get excited about it. I love what I do.
Yes, you're in your purpose, and that's what I be helping people. It's like when you're in your purpose, you're gonna flow. So first of all, okay, let's go back a little bit of talking about expanding your clients. Which is very important from the inside out. You got to dig deep. You got to get to that root.
Exactly.
Everything else is just basically band-aids. And I always tell people, you got to get deep into there. And you got to be true to yourself if you want that. And they have to, and see, you bring that out. See, that's why coaches and specialists and transformational coach like yourself is needed. Is much needed. And I love how you said, get a dictionary, because now you got to look at the words that you're saying to yourself. Powerful. Okay, Karen, keep going.
Go all day, because I really love this. It's so powerful because we're always, when you're pointing a finger and coming up with excuses and you're blaming everybody else, you have three fingers coming back at you. So by looking up your words, by sitting there and pausing, it always begins and ends with self. Always. So when you become, and I like to create thinkers, when you become responsible for your thoughts, feelings, and actions, right, you're coming from the inside out, the world gets brighter. Everything becomes like surreal in a sense. There's joy there, and it doesn't mean that it's not a rocky road. It absolutely is, because we're giving up, in essence, a part of ourselves that have been ingrained in us. And 9 times out of 10, it's not even our stories. right? So by shifting those stories, you know, I've worked with executives, I've worked with coaches, I've worked with business owners, I've worked with individuals just starting, because even when you're in a leadership role, right, if you're not being responsible for yourself, you can't expect other people to do as I do and not what I say, kind of thing. It doesn't work. And then you're going to be always in angst and angry, and the anger, your body is always talking. And this is what my biggest motivational drive is, coming from a nursing perspective. Your body remembers everything. It's holding on to everything. So until you dig it out, it's almost like having going to the dentist and getting it out at the root, right? Until you shift that energy, it's always going to be there, the stress. So are you familiar with Dr. Emoto's work, The Study of Water?
No, I'm not.
Dr. Emoto, there's like cool YouTube videos. He was a Japanese scientist doctor in Japan, and he did this whole study of water, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically he put the word love, the vibration of love on a bottle of water. He put the vibration of hate on another bottle, let it sit, did his prayers over the love and all everything else. He took it under a microscope, and the ones that came from love were all these beautiful snowflake fractals that were absolutely exquisite. The ones that were hate, war, all of the negative connotations, look distorted. If you look at a cancer cell, it's distorted, right? The power of prayer, it's beautiful fractals. So he took all of this. So coming from a science background, every thought you think affects our body is 78% water. So every thought you think affects every cell of your body. Every cell of your body is attached to an organ. Every organ is attached to ease or disease. So by me shifting and supporting the shift of perception, you're supporting your ease or dis-ease in life. You know, diabetes, heart attacks, cancer, and so on and so forth. So it has benefits. You're decreasing the stress.
Yes. Oh, Karen. I was like, this should have been an hour show. I messed up big time. I need to bring you back again.
I'll come back. We'll talk.
I mean, I'm serious. I need you to come back. This is amazing. I'm learning so much, and I know our audience. I see some of the main people that come on. Janice McNear, I see. I just want to give her a little shot to support us here. But Karen, this is incredible. And see, what I love about this, that's why I always like to get the person's story, like your story, before you start talking about your genius and your expertise, what you have, because that shows the more credibility and how you understand, when you're working with people. And I mean, just talking right now, I'm like, okay, who wouldn't sign up with you? What's going on? What's wrong with the world?
There's nothing wrong with the world. There's nothing to be fixed, right? We're whole, complete, perfect right here, right now. It's just shifting what is into something more expansive.
See, and just, okay, let me put it like this. Yeah, first of all, I'm going to take that back. Nothing wrong with the world. You just need some teaching. It's just getting the awareness.
It's awareness.
You're getting the awareness. You're giving the awareness to us. And that's what's needed. And I always tell people, that's one of the reasons why I have this show too, is to bring that awareness of the coach, that what you're doing. So amazing. Thank you, lady. But before, we close for the day, I want to make sure, because what I usually do is I want to give you 30 seconds just to kind of speak whatever you want to speak to the audience before we close out. And I'm going to take myself down because I really want you just to concentrate on the audience and what you want to say. And I'll be back up in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Nothing like a little pressure. First off, I want to really, I'm grateful. I live in gratitude. I am Karen Rudolf with TranquilSOULutions. You got this. If I can get it, you can get it. And I'm more than willing and happy to take you through the process. It's tried and true. And I'm happy. I'm joyous, and you can be as well. Karen Rudolf, TranquilSOULutions.com. Karen at TranquilSOULutions.com. Facebook, Karen Rudolf. Facebook, TranquilSOULutions. Instagram, LinkedIn. however you want to reach out to me, follow me on Facebook because I offer a lot of complimentary programs. My next one is all around music and finding your voice. So I'd love to have you there. And again, I am so, so, so grateful for the opportunity and what you're doing here. Barbara is absolutely, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen, Queen Karen. I just want to thank you again. Please, everybody, reach out to Karen. I have her website below. Just, make sure that you don't keep that on until we end the show, because I really want you to get to know her a little bit. Just, this is a little taste. Can you see just having a whole session with Karen? It's just like, okay, my day is just complete. But yeah, please, if you know that you need this type of help in a sense of understanding, awareness, like I said before, or if you know somebody in your world that needs this, please reach out to Karen and use the tools and what she does, because it will help. Like she said, the inside out is so important, working from the inside out. And, I just really honor you, Karen, for what you're doing. You're a world changer. You're helping people. And that's what's needed right now. We all need to come together and do that. I mean, that's just, to me, that's the medicine right there. That's the medicine right there.
Absolutely.
Now I'm feeling goosebumps. All of a sudden I feel the goosies has come. So I know what you're saying now. I felt that twice. Yeah. So Karen, I will make sure that I get with you as soon as this show's over so we can get you back on the calendar, because I really want to bring you on and talk about more detail of what you do. And if there's other things coming up for you, like I said, I'm a visibility person. I want to make sure that I'm giving you that visibility if I can.
Thank you. I'm so honored, and what a privilege. And as I said, I just am so touched, moved, and inspired by everything you're bringing here. The world needs more of you as well.
Oh, we need to multiply you and me.
I'm all about chapter 2 of my book is all about collaboration. And I believe the world is not, we're not meant to be here alone, doing life alone. Right? There's always someone there to have your back. And I'm about lifting. Let's lift each other.
Let's lift each other up. Love it. Love it, Queen. Okay, Queen. So you take care, lady, and we'll see you soon. I'm going to say that. I want to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
See, I always have a nice time, especially on Friday. So see, this is what I'm loving. This is what I love about the Coaches Lounge with Barbara J. Beckley. Every Friday we come on 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And please figure out all the other time zones. That'd be a list, right? Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Shannon, for coming on the Coaches Lounge today. So much information. Like I said before, I give the spotlights to them so you can understand what they do. And then maybe you need that in your day. Maybe you need that. I hate to, like she said, we don't want to say fix. We want to say basically getting that for you so you can grow and move to the next level in your life, your objectives or your goals that you're trying to do. And that's why the coaches are here for you. That's why, I always say the consultants are here for you. So tune in next Friday. I like to say that. Tune in next Friday, where we're going to have another episode of the Coaches Lounge with Barbara J. Beckley, and we'll have other coaches come on, all different kind of coaches. And just to let you know, if you're interested in being on the show and being spotlighted, if you're a coach, a consultant, or educator, I always do the 3 because that all to me wraps up together. please just reach out to me through Facebook Messenger. I'm going to basically be, next time that you see the show, I'm having just a snippet of a commercial. So if you know people that you know that needs to be spotlighted as a coach, an educator, and a consultant, come on to the Coaches Lounge. Let's have that talk. Let's have that conversation so people get to know you. Visibility is the key. And I want to leave you with this, that your uniqueness, what you are different than anybody else, that is not a curse. That is not a curse. That is a blessing in your life. So your uniqueness is your special sauce for the world. You take care, and we will see each other next week for the next Coaches Lounge. Talk to you later.
Help Heal Humanity is an internationally registered charity mindfully designed to provide the world's most vulnerable communities with access to education, food, support, and love. We build the infrastructure, develop the programming, and foster the global connections necessary to support the charity and future of the people in our project countries. Through unconditional giving, Help Heal Humanity achieves its mission to inspire and love those in need in a compassionate and sustainable way. Our vision is to make conscious giving a widespread global practice through kindness and servitude. Get involved now and be part of our Help Heal Humanity family.